What's up, guys? It's your boy the Boom, and I'm back for another video. And I want to talk about the WWE's version of the Bullet Club. Now, before we get into all of this, I just want to talk about the real version of the Bullet Club. The version that was in Japan, they was kind of still in the NWO's like swag, and the too sweet with the click and stuff from WWE, but it was cool. It was cool to see these group of guys. It was kind of like a gang, and they was just taking over Japan. The clips I saw, I'm not gonna pretend I was watching Japan stuff and all that, but from the clips I saw, these guys look cool. The stuff they was wearing was cool. They had gear. They had the spray like attire. They had the mask. They had all their stuff. It was like, wow, this is a pretty cool group. I know they still elements from the Click and NWO and stuff. Really, all of it is stolen, but it's still like a spin-off version of the NWO. It was cool. And then you see these big, I guess these big guys get into the group and stuff. It was like, that's a cool idea, man. That's a cool idea. And these guys show personality. All they care about is drinking and fighting and winning and stuff. All of that was just cool to me. I was like, if this is in WWE, man, this could be like the coolest thing. This could be like the NWO all over again. We can get a newer version of the NWO with these big indie guys, and you could bring them in, and they just taking on the biggest stars in WWE and stuff. And then eventually, we get what we want. Finn Balor, I think in like 2013, he comes to WWE. Maybe 2014. Probably 2014. Finn Balor comes to WWE. AJ Styles comes to WWE in 2016. In 2016, I know Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows come to WWE. It's like, wow, okay, we building something. There's something building up. And let's just get into it, man. I want to talk about everything. And to start it off, I want to talk about the name of the group. So, the group gets together in WWE, and the word, I think they don't want to use the word bullet in it. They don't want to use that word, so they end up calling the group the club. And it's like, man, that is such a PG version of the group, man. The club, man. I don't even think Bullet Club is like, don't even sound that crazy, but at least if it does sound like kind of crazy, you don't want kids to know like what a bullet is and stuff. Change it to something a little bit down, but it still kind of sounds cool. But the club just sounds like a great value version of the Bullet Club from Japan. It's like, yo, you couldn't think of nothing better. I thought that was a failed opportunity, so that was already the bad thing. They already failed with that. I was sad. I was disappointed, and they didn't really bring any of that swagger they brought from Japan. I feel like what these guys were given was just like, this is it. This is all you're gonna give them, this terrible name. It's like they thought of that name in like 10 minutes and was like, okay, that's it. And I feel like they had one more name after the club, and it still wasn't good. Like, the club name was bad, and then they gave them another name after that. It still sucked. So yeah, it just made me realize, like, okay, this is not gonna be what we seen from the clips in Japan and all that stuff. I thought they just missed the mark with the name. So let's get into each member we've seen so far in WWE and what they've done with the versions of the club or the Bullet Club. So AJ Styles, let's start it off. So he came in 2016, and I was like, man, this is AJ Styles, the face of the Bullet Club. He was carrying the Bullet Club for years in Japan. He was doing his thing. You got to see the Young Bucks and all of that stuff. They was doing a super kick party thing, and it was just fun. And he's like, whoa, these guys are so cool to do the too sweet thing. And the AJ Styles had like he would wear the mask to the ring, and he had the spray painted gear and the black gear and stuff. It was like, this is cool. So when you get the version in WWE, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson come in, they try to tell AJ Styles to join them, and then eventually AJ Styles joins them, and they start beating up John Cena, and they start calling people nerds. That was the first thing. I was like, that's not cool. Calling people nerds is so silly. That's so PG. That's not cool. That is so lame. And I was like, okay, so they already giving them, they're losing their cool factor. The They never had a cool theme, so I love the Bullet Club theme. So I think it's cool. It's cool, but they never gave him a theme. But that's the least problem because AJ Styles song is good, so you can at least stick with that. And I like Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows' theme too. I thought their theme was cool too, and they just called people nerds, so that was just silly. And then you didn't give him no gear. Carl Anderson had he had his black gear, and Luke Gallows, he used to wear these cool cargo pants and I guess camo type clothes in Japan and stuff. He just cut all of that out. That military type attire. Yeah, he ends up wearing these I guess out of shape straps. I don't want to shame nobody, but like it was like out of shape straps and stuff. And he looks the same as he did in Japan. It's just they gave him cooler gear in Japan. The cargo pants with the boots and all of that stuff. I thought that was cool. The face paint and all of that. I thought that was cooler. It gave him way more swag. It gave him more personality. But the strap that they gave him, I just didn't like it, man. It made him look out of shape. And yeah, it just didn't work. So they lost the swag. They lost the personality to their attires. AJ Styles, I'm talking about him right now. But we can get into Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, because AJ Styles, at least with him, he still ended up being a success by himself. His normal AJ Styles stuff was cool, but him being in that group though, it never felt like a group. And in the recent stuff he's been doing with the girl and the Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, it's been like, those are named Meechin. It's been like, come on. Give them colors that match at least. They was all wearing different gear and stuff, and they don't make them feel like a group. So they got to improve on that. AJ Styles is my boy, but yeah, they really have been dropping the ball with him being in that group. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. This part is probably the worst part. These guys are treated like jokes. Like I said, they call people nerds. That's so middle school, elementary school. That's so lame. That is so lame. And they lose all the time. These guys lose so much. I never really see them win like that. They should have came in dominating, beating up everybody. They like the thugs, like Razor Ramon and Kevin Nash when they first came in, how they was like the outsiders. They was coming in, beating up people, jumping in matches and stuff. That's how it should have been. I feel like that's how they debuted. They like beat up the New Day and stuff. Or was the Usos? They came in just beating up people, and that's what they should have been, just gangsters. And they dropped the ball. They ended up getting beat up all the time. They always lost. They never looked tough anymore. And they dropped the ball, man. They dropped the ball. Now, they got fired, too. That was another thing. They dropped the ball. They got fired. Then they came back and still the same thing. They still get beat up. It's sad. They're just in the background for AJ Styles all the time. When AJ Styles got hurt, they were just off of TV for months. And we never got to see them because WWE didn't believe in him, man. They did not believe in him. So yes, I hate talking bad about them, but yeah, they are just not those guys. And Meechin shouldn't even be in the group. I feel like she doesn't fit the group. She's not tough. She's not scary. She's not threatening at all. I don't get it. And let's just get to the final part. Finn Balor, he barely gets in the group, really. I feel like it was like one match. He might have been with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, but never really in a group. Maybe they should put him in there. Maybe it'll make it feel more genuine, like, oh, they got chemistry. Because when AJ Styles and Luke Gallows are together, it's just like, man, they have no chemistry. It don't even feel like they're a real group. So yes, they failed the Bullet Club. It could have been the coolest thing, but they dummied it down. Great valued it in. Now it's just a joke. It is just a joke. Such a cool trend. They did the same thing with Matt Hardy. The broken thing. Something so cool could just be so lame. But tell me how y'all feel about this, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Anime Boom out. Peace.